Peter Capaldi's tenure as the Doctor has almost come to a close. We've got his adventures with David Bradley's first Doctor at Christmas, and then that's it. Series 10 has surprisingly been one of the most solid series in recent years, albeit with a few expected hiccups. With Moffat bowing out as our Lord and Master alongside the entirety of the main cast, we have a whole new era of Doctor Who to look forward to. We do, however, have a few suggestions. I'm Rich from Whatculture. This is Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. 5 things to ditch, 5 things to do. Spoilers, obviously. Let's get the negative out the way. 5 things to ditch. Number 5. Clara Oswald and me. A polarising companion and a hyped up character who got far too important, far too quickly. Clara's character was quite hit or miss with the fans. Some loved her, some didn't. Alongside Matt Smith, she was one-dimensional and had a bugger annoying catchphrase. Alongside Peter Capaldi, she started to show some colour, then got herself killed by being an idiot. Then she was resurrected 1 episode later. As for Maisie Williams, Ashilda seemed unimportant to begin with, then she took a hunk of plastic to the forehead, and now she's immortal and important. Great. By the end of season 9, Clara and me banded together and took off in a TARDIS disguised as an American diner. Yes, you heard me right. What I don't ever want to see again is a precariously placed diner in Series 11, or even worse, the Clara and me stupid flying diner show on CBBC. Number 4. Quick episode conclusions. Not so much a convention of Moffat's Who, but more like an unfortunate recurring theme within the writing. One of the reasons Series 7 is regarded as the weakest of New Who is because a number of the stories are quickly wrapped up in the final 5 minutes of the episode. Too much screen time is spent setting the scene and not enough spent watching the Doctor being all clever and stuff. Take Cold War. An Ice Warrior breaks loose and he chases the crew around a submarine for a bit. With the Doctor powerless and extremely vulnerable, we think it's all over for him. Then, the Ice Warriors come and pick up their straggler. Threat over. Done. Don't do this, Chris, please. Number 3. The Weeping Angels. Blink is regarded as the best Doctor Who story ever. Being Moffat's brainchild during Russell T Davies' run, it's no surprise he wanted to bring them back when he was reigning supreme. But then we got the dismal Flesh and Stone, The Time of Angels, The Angels Take Manhattan, and every other pointless minor appearance since. They still scared the living daylights out of some people, but the more and more time they got in stories that land nowhere near the perfection of Blink, the less and less incredible Blink becomes in hindsight. If you think I'm talking bollocks, think of the masterpiece that is The Empty Child getting new episodes every 2 seasons. It sounds ludicrous, and it is. Number 2. River Song. As much as it's extremely convoluted, as far as we know, River Song's timeline is over. From her first appearance in Silence in the Library to her most recent in The Husbands of River Song, her various appearances in comparison to the chronology of the series is seriously out of whack. Fans have cobbled together a chronological timeline which comfortably tells a full story, so first off, Chris, please don't attempt to add to it. I feel that River Song started to crop up more than we asked for over the course of the last 5 series, so having her retire for good would be, well, good. Number 1. Universally significant companions. My biggest criticism on New Who overall is the idea that no one can step foot in the TARDIS without the entire goddamn universe revolving around them. Rose is the bad wolf, Martha walked the earth, the Dr. Donna, River Song's parents, spoiler, and the Impossible Girl. Back in the days of Classic Who, companions were just normal people who came along for the ride. If they didn't enjoy it, they just got up and left. Or they were ditched by the Doctor himself. Bill was a step in the right direction. Sure, she ends up being the first ever fully functional Cyberman, but A, that wasn't constantly foreshadowed or teased at all during the series, and B, the Cybermen featured in World Enough and Time and the Doctor Falls are independent to that arc, so she, along with the other Cybermen on the ship, don't continue to Mondas for the events of the 10th planet. Sort of the genesis of the Cybermen, sort of not. Let's have future companions, of course, likeable and relatable, but please not as some plot device in a flimsy grand scheme. Whew, now that's over, let's look to the future. Chris, 5 things to do. Number 5. Have longer episode arcs. Series 10 saw the second 3-part story in New Who. Extremis, the Pyramid at the End of the World, and The Lie of the Land saw the monks attempt to take over the Earth. The trilogy in the end had a weak beginning, an incredible middle, and a mediocre end. The ideas were there, it just wasn't executed brilliantly. Back in the day, Doctor Who had stories that ran over 4 or sometimes 6 episodes, albeit with shorter episodic runtimes. Chibnall has rumoured he's exploring bigger story arcs with his reign, and I feel it'd be a welcome change. Bigger stories, bigger characters, and bigger adventures will hopefully lead to less hit and miss and seemingly rushed arcs. Number 4. Reintroduce classic Time Lords. Other than the Master, Rassilon is the only other Time Lord with major significance we've encountered in New Who. Romana, the Rani, the Monk, and more on the Valyard are still to be explored. Sure, Romana 3 and the Rani got their foot into the 21st century in the form of the massively successful Big Finish audiobooks, but having Romana 4 crop up, or for the Doctor to stumble across the Rani's TARDIS during his adventures, would be quite something. Since these roles are Time Lords, Chibnall could have a bit of fun with them, in the same way Moff has enjoyed tinkering with the Master. They could turn up having changed gender, Romana might be evil and the Rani might have dedicated her life to charity. Who knows? Number 3. Keep the secrets. John Sim returning in Series 10 could have been so much bigger. The leak was orchestrated by the BBC themselves prior to the airing of Series 10's opener, probably to deter any people from digging any deeper and revealing any more surprises in store. Even John Sim himself was pretty disappointed everyone was expecting him. Just imagine if we hadn't a clue. A surprise appearance of a previous Master would have made us need to change our trousers. Spoilers are a given when it comes to anything pop culture, and we the consumer are also guilty of sometimes poking our noses into rumours we should really just leave alone. It would be nice to have more big surprises in Who, and it'd be grand if we didn't know at all. Number 2. Tie up or at least progress the Finding Gallifrey arc. Since the magnificent day of the Doctor in 2013, the Doctor has supposedly been chasing after Gallifrey ever since. He has visited Gallifrey's own pocket universe in Heaven Sent and proceeded to throw a spanner in the proverbial works, but he hasn't been keen to save it. Since the Time War, Gallifrey has become corrupt and broken by conflict, something explored in Tennant's finale The End of Time. It's understandable the Doctor might not want to bring his pals back into our universe just in case they lash out. Rather than leave us in the dark, the Doctor clarifying his position would not only be one hell of a development for the character, but it sets the future of Who in motion. Does the Doctor set out on what he feels is right, or does he run away again? And number 1, introduce a female Doctor. Wait, they did? Sweet. The sudden announcement that we were finding out who Doctor 13 was over the weekend meant I've had to rewrite this entry, but damn, am I excited. Jodie Whittaker of Broadchurch fame will be the first ever female to take on the role of the iconic Time Lord. However, some people are nowhere near as excited as I am. 13 men have held the title of the Doctor since 1963, so this is quite the departure, but it isn't really such a surprise. The likes of the General regenerating into female form on Gallifrey, and of course the completely brilliant Missy, means that we're no stranger to Time Lords becoming female. The Doctor ending up here was an inevitability, and I must admit, it's come much sooner than I first anticipated. People are getting riled up about nothing more than an announcement, with them declaring this being the death of a series they've seen nothing of yet. The Doctor's gender hasn't ever been the focus of any plot device throughout the entire series, so the fundamental formula of Doctor Who won't change with a woman at the helm. Stop picking holes and get excited. It's gonna be great. And that's our list. What do or don't you want to see in Doctor Who next year? Let us know in the comments section down below. News, lists and articles await on Whatculture.com, and you can follow us on Twitter here. I'm Rich from Whatculture, and I'll see you soon.